Hi, I'm Darren Swallow, Shamanic Practitioner, and in this video I will describe a little bit about shamanic practice and shamanic healing sessions. What is a shaman? What happens in a healing session? How does it work? What kind of results can we expect? Okay, so firstly, what's a shaman? Well, the word shaman originally comes from the Tungus region of Siberia, and roughly translated it means one who sees or one who knows. And the definition of a shaman is somebody who can alter their consciousness in one way or another and journey to other realms, other dimensions, unseen in the normal waking state, where they meet and interact with spirit energies, and they bring back healing, knowledge, wisdom, power for themselves, for their clients, and their communities. So in the West, because of various things that I'm sure we're all well aware of, the connection with our traditional shamanic culture was lost sometime around the Middle Ages, and only now are people returning in large numbers to once again reconnect with our ancestral shamanic heritage, our connection to the planet and the cosmos through the unseen and the unheard, which exist all around us, without us, and within us. So, in a shamanic healing session, what happens? Well, when people come to see me for a healing session, I generally start with 10 or 15 minutes of Reiki. Reiki, if you don't know, is a method, it's a discipline of channeling and passing healing energy. Prana. Reiki means universal life force energy. It's prana, chi, let's say. And the reason I start with Reiki is, firstly, it can help to put the client in a very deep state of relaxation, and secondly, it helps me to get into a heart-centered place and a very focused and concentrated state of being. Once the Reiki is finished, I then take my rattles and will rattle for a minute or so to get myself into a shamanic state of consciousness, which is a light trance. I'm not too deep in trance that I can't move around, as you need to be aware enough of what you're doing so you don't touch anyone inappropriately or fall over, let's say. And when I feel that I have attained a shamanic state of consciousness, I invoke and call in my spirit helpers, my guardians, my guides, and the spirit energies that work through me to do the healing. Because it's important to state that it is not the practitioner that does the healing. The shamanic practitioner is the vessel through which the spirits work to do the healing. In Siberia, I believe they call this, I don't know the Siberian word, but it's called being a hollow bone. You get yourself out of the way enough to allow an empty space for these energies to come in. It's also important to state that these are compassionate, transcendent spirit energies that I work with. So They are all compassionate, and they exist to serve and to heal. So once I'm in trance and merged with one or more of the spirit helpers, the healing starts proper. A lot of the healing comes through song and rattling or drumming, or I use a singing bowl also, so it's sound. And this sound carries on it the vibration given out by the spirit. So song doctrine, they call it. So I perceive it as weaving a web of light, a web of healing around the client through the song, through the rattling, the power coming out through the rattles, through the drum, through my mouth, sometimes through my throat. A lot of energy comes, and yeah, like I say, it's weaving a web of healing around the client that will stay with them after the session and continue to give this healing. Another, and to my mind, one of the most important parts of the healing is what we call soul retrieval. Now, a soul retrieval is the bringing back, the giving back to the client of part of their energy body that disassociated at some point during their lives due to a trauma of some kind. When we suffer a trauma, in order to survive the trauma, part of our energy body disassociates. Now, this could be an accident, like a car crash, motor crash, some kind of abuse, or something like even being stuck in a job that you don't like, or being extremely bored at school. It doesn't have to be a major trauma that causes this, but the effect it has is to leave us in a weakened state energetically. And over the course of a lifetime, if these soul portions are not brought back, as they are in traditional shamanic cultures where they understand this, we get weaker and weaker and weaker energetically, and this leaves us open to entity attachments, chronic illness, and so on. So, in a healing, at least one, sometimes more, of these soul portions can be returned. Now, if somebody has suffered a kind of sustained abuse over a number of years, then it's not likely that everything will be healed and returned in one session, as it takes time to reintegrate these soul portions. But usually at least one soul portion is brought back, and people very often comment after the session that some kind of chronic physical ailment has healed after the return of a soul portion. So the result of soul loss and the weakening of the energy body, as I said, can result in entity attachments. Now, what are these? I mean, these parasitic astral entities are, the way I perceive them, mostly, I won't say semi-conscious. They have a consciousness, but they're barely, you know, they attach to us when we're in a weakened state energetically, either through trauma, as I've just explained, but also through being very drunk, for example. You know, we can go a little bit out of body when we're drunk. These things can come in. Pharmaceutical drugs, antibiotics and things like this have a tendency to weaken our energy field and these entities can come in and attach to us, and they tend to feed off negative energy and will provoke us to react in certain situations in a negative way and then feed off this energy. They can provoke us into arguments, let's say with loved ones or friends, just so that we will produce a negative emotion like anger or fear, and then they will feed off this energy. There are certain places that they're easier to be picked up in as well. Dodgy bars, hospitals, even cinemas. You know, when they show horror films, cinemas, all of these things. And they'll jump in. So, in the healing session, these can be removed. And also energetic cords attaching us energetically to family members, friends, lovers, and these connections can be positive or negative. And in a negative energetic connection, generally our energy will be sucked, will be taken from us by people who rely on us emotionally, let's say, or for whatever reason. So these cords can be cut or pulled out and removed by the spirits. Another thing that happens in the healing sessions, oftentimes, not always, but often, a helping spirit will turn up for the client, usually a power animal, a helping spirit in animal form, and these act as guardians, guides, protectors and teachers to people. And it's up to us to make our own connection, build a relationship with our helping spirits, and is often the start of a fascinating journey towards self-knowledge and self-realization. So there we are. I mean, that's basically what goes on in the healing session. Now, it's very important to come into these sessions with an open mind, because every person is different, every healing session is different, and very often we don't realize the extent of our healing until sometime after the session, when we realize that certain behaviors have changed. If we used to react in certain ways to situations, this may have changed. So it works within us and without us on a very deep level, and many times these sessions can be quite life-changing. The fact that you're watching this video shows that you have some interest in shamanic healing, and for me, what I can say about this work and the healing that I have had myself from the spirits and from other shamanic practitioners is that I've been given, I'm generally given exactly what I need, even if I don't know that that's what I needed at the time, or even if I think nothing happened. I'll find out afterwards that actually something very profound has happened. This is up to you to find out. So if you find a shamanic practitioner giving healing sessions near where you are, or not, because of course in the shamanic realms, in non-ordinary reality, there is no time and space, so a shamanic healing session does not have to be done in person, can be done at a distance. I work in both ways, in person and at a distance. So there we are. I could talk for hours, but I'm trying to keep this short. So thanks very much for tuning in. Under this video I will leave some links for more information and also let you know how you can get in touch with me. And thanks again for tuning in, and I hope to see you at a workshop or a healing session very soon. Thanks a lot.